All right. Here we go again. Drag Week 2023. Video is way too late, but I have all this footage, so I had some downtime again, and I figured I'd finish it up because there are other things that I'd like to go over with the car. I'm signed up for Drag Week this year in 2025, so I just feel like this is like a monkey on my back, and I need to get this video done and before I can start making some new ones. To whoever's watching this and was waiting for the second part, apologies. But without talking too much more about it, here it is. This is Drag Week 2023, day 2 and day 3. Enjoy. Start off the day with a nice sunrise drive into Rockingham Dragway. We came into this day in first place. We had the lead by almost 0.2 of a second. Went 970 with a 9 at Darlington Dragway, which was luckily enough to put us in first place in the street race small block naturally aspirated class. Still anybody's game at this point. The plan going into this day was to just make real small changes. We just made one change to the shocks in the rear of the car because we know that we can basically make this car keep going 970s all week if we have to, not trying to set the world on fire, and just stay consistent. Consistency is key on Drag Week, especially if you are in a position to win your class. You don't want to go out there and try to swing for the fences if you know that the passes that you're making are working and going to keep you in the lead. And you also don't want to beat up on everything because you never know how many passes you're going to get on one of these events before there's some kind of parts failure. So without further delay, here is day 2, Drag Week 2023 at Rockingham Dragway. Drag Week day 2, first one in line, ran a 963 with a 6, I believe, so that's good enough to maintain the lead. We're not going to get greedy. We're just going to one and done and get out of here. Plant the tire in first gear, add a little compression, or a little compression to the rear shocks. Eric Yost recommended doing that, so thanks to Biggin. Got down the track. It still shook a little bit on the 1-2 shift, but I was able to give it a quick whop and went right down. So I think tomorrow just leave it alone, same exact setup, and maybe just add a little bit more compression to the rear because it seemed to really like that 3 clicks. So I may just go another 2 and maybe that'll take care of the rattle on the shift. But really perfect pass for Drag Week day 2 to maintain the lead, and we're gonna get on the road as soon as everybody else is all set. Looks like Casino's car's in the air, and he's doing things over there, so see what happens. Day 2,
Most expensive. It keeps bouncing
10:30
around.
update.
Just love to
Mark's working on this car. He's got a transmission leak and stuff.
Tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap the room.
You're already tracking better than that.
Nice job, Craig.
No paparazzi.
Day 2, it's about 2 o'clock. We're about to get back on the road. I think I was the first pair down, and we're one of the last to leave, so be another long day, but you know, that's drag week. I can't go anywhere without Mark because he's my GPS basically.
So we got on the road. I got myself some lunch of champions. Would not recommend. 0 out of 10. Then we hit some rush hour traffic. We left just in time for everybody to be leaving work for the day. So let's listen to some gear wine. So here's the end of the drive on day 2, followed up by early morning day 3, going to Bristol. It was awesome to be able to race at this track. The place is legendary. The scenery around between the speedway and then just the mountains. It's the sound that you get in there. It's called Thunder Valley for a reason. And just looking down the track at both mountains on each side of you, and basically the track is carved out into rock. So really cool to be able to race here. That's another awesome part about drag week, is getting to go to see places that you never have been to. We didn't really make any major changes to the car. I think we added a click or two of compression to the rear shocks. And as you see in the video, this pass, we definitely got a little squirrely, but it got down. So I almost forgot about, on that pass, some of the staging dramas I had. I heard from somebody that the starting lane was sloped down, so watch out when you get on the two-step. I tried to test the two-step while I was rolling into the beams, but because the two-step on my car is hooked up to the drive shaft sensor, it didn't activate, and I just went to the limiter. It grabbed the clutch and caused me to deep stage, but we still were able to go 965. So got on the road to the next track and just take a moment of appreciation here for how beautiful these drives were on drag week in 2023. Another thing I'd like to talk about with the drives was the clutch tune-up. The clutch tune-up, we'd left it alone from racetrack to street, and it was fine even towing the trailer. On this drive, we did have a little bit of slippage. I tried to roll into it a little bit too low, and I was in too high of a gear, so I made a point of just not having the car under 3,000 RPMs when I was climbing uphill, and that was able to have enough counterweight active where it was no problem. Pretty sure Mark was sleeping. You know the trip is going smooth when Mark starts taking naps on the rides and hands Craig the keys. So just a little shot here of a gas station pit stop, and then off to the next checkpoint where we met up with Frank Romano and found that he was having some brake issues, to put it lightly. He had a bolt back out, and then the caliper bound up and broke his rotor. You can see in the next picture or next video where his smashed rotor is, and trying to get the bracket bent straight. So that was interesting for those guys. And now we got a trailer burn out incoming. Okay, so that's a wrap on Drag Week Day 2 and 3. As we were leaving Bristol, we saw our fellow competitor, Jeff, I think Pangborn, is how I'm pronouncing his last. If I'm pronouncing his last name wrong, apologies. The killer 60s Mustang that had a GV2 headed small block Ford in it. Really awesome car. Perfect car for street race small block NA. Had full interior. Thing was just super clean. It was a bummer to see him out, but that did give us a pretty substantial lead out to second place. I think the next guy at that point was either high 10s or low 11s. So at that point, we knew that if we kept just playing it safe for the rest of the week, that we could hopefully lock up the win. So again, thanks for watching. Next video will come out a lot faster because it's all edited. I did the second and third part all as one. I'm breaking them up with these little intros and outros from present day 2025 Slacker mode. There was a guy on Nick Larson's channel, Streetcar Shenanigans, and he was complaining because Nick took 2 weeks after sick week to edit his video. And this guy, he's got a full-time business and everything, so I figured, if that guy could complain about 2 weeks, and somebody else can complain about 2 years. So that was good motivation to get this done. So thanks to that guy for complaining about nothing. All right, so stay tuned for part 3.